Hello, I wanted to record a short video to explain something that really should not be all that hard to understand. Some people saw my Facebook post about how the words we use, the labels we use to call ourselves things should matter. And I found that often they don't. And I just wanted to clarify a point I was trying to make here. See, here's the thing is I believe that when somebody calls somebody a word, like whether somebody calls themselves a Christian or an atheist or they call themselves gay or straight or asexual, or vegan or carnist. Of course, nobody calls themselves a carnist because that's the default in this society. But the point is, the words that I say, they all mean something. And the thing is, people, they like to each define what a Christian is in their own way. And then you have people who will call themselves vegan, but then still eat fish or honey or something. You know what I mean? And like people, the words are defined. Like there is always the original intention behind a word, a label of what it's supposed to mean. And unfortunately, people get offended when I say that, there should be some common meaning to something. And the thing is, I know for a fact that I do use the term pro-life in a way that's non-traditional, because I know it usually just refers to somebody who is against abortion. But I believe that the way that it sounds, pro-life, should mean something. Because if I was just anti-abortion, but for other forms of murder of humans and other animals, then I would just call myself anti-abortion. Like, oh, I don't want to kill you before you're born. I just want to kill you after you're born, which would be the weirdest thing ever. But I mean, I try so hard to be consistent with the words I call myself. And I just think that there are differences. There are certain differences in behavior that can be predicted. So, like when somebody calls himself a Christian, there are certain things about them that I do know. I may not know them a whole as a person, but I do know they have been influenced by the religion of Christianity. They were probably raised in it, and they probably go to church. Not necessarily, but most of the time they go to church, they believe in God, and that Jesus was a real person. There are certain things that are true of somebody who uses a label, even though they disagree. So, but my point is that whatever you call yourself, whether it's a word about your religion, or you call yourself a Democrat or Republican, your political party that you associate with, the words the adjectives you describe yourself as, that means something, or you would not be using the label. So even though people like to tell me I'm wrong, when they see my post and all, and that post was actually, just a little bit of history, was inspired by an argument in an asexuality group on Facebook, where people are arguing about what it means to be asexual. And some people say that it's where you lack sexual desire. Some people say you lack sexual attraction. But I just kind of tend to think that it means something, and we can't have two or more different definitions of the same word. I mean, people do, but it causes confusion, because like if vegan turns into something it's not. Like, who cares about the asexual thing? Nobody needs to care about it because it's not important. But it does become important when words such as vegan or Christian or atheist or Muslim, for example, these are words people have very strong emotions about, and that they mean something by it. And if you can correctly interpret what they mean by it, that's great. But people just call themselves labels and don't clarify and explain what they're talking about, why they use that word. Maybe they don't even know the reason why they use that word. But I think they need to get their shit together and find out why they describe themselves with that word. So that's just my thought on the matter, and that's what I meant by that post.